This is everything me and my dad are carrying for 8 days on the West Highland Way. Most people completely underestimate how hard it is to stay warm and dry wild camping in Scotland, and I'm about to find out if we got this right. This is also my dad's first time long distance hiking and camping, so no pressure. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what we're bringing, stuff I'm confident about, what I'm not so sure about, a couple things that we won't take with us, and if we get this gear wrong, it's going to be a very long 8 days. We're both carrying around 18 to 20 pounds, and I'll go through everything right now and show you what's in our backpacks. Okay, hello. Mooi af. Kom eens mooi af. First, I'll share what I will be carrying. So I have half a liter on my shoulder strap. I'm going to be carrying another half liter. My dad and I are each going to be carrying a liter, which I think should be enough during the day. Then I have my tent poles. We won't be sharing a tent. My dad snores really bad, so if I can move away from him a little bit, that would be cool. I have some just regular flip-flops, my Kula cloth, Black Diamond trekking poles. Then, since I want to be more serious about documenting this journey, I'm also carrying a tiny little tripod for my phone. I have a CNOC dirty water bladder. I don't think we'll have to filter a lot, but since we're wild camping, I like to have this opportunity. I also carry a trowel, some toilet paper, and hand sanitizer. And we'll be passing through a lot of little villages, so hopefully this is not necessary, but in case of emergency, we have it. Then also in the front pocket, I have my rain jacket, my rain pants, another cover for my backpack, and and I have another poncho because I'm not 100% confident with my rain jacket. Not sure if this is going to be a mistake with the wind and all, but we'll figure that out. And in my little pocket, I have some lip balm, some sunscreen. I have a head net because midges are a huge thing in Scotland. Let's see if I'm gonna need this. Then I'm also gonna be carrying my drone. Let's see if this is a mistake. The weather has been absolutely gorgeous in Scotland for the last 2 weeks, and literally the day that we arrive, the weather is going to turn. I expect to get rain and wind, so I might not fly this at all. I also have the controller for the drone. Then in here, I carry my passport, credit card, all that stuff. I have my toothbrush, toothpaste. I am also carrying the Sawyer squeeze, as I mentioned. I don't think we'll be using the water filter a lot, but I like having this with me just in case. And then my spoon and a little knife. So before I start unpacking this, I always carry an air tag, especially when I am flying. I really like having this in there just for added security. And also when I'm on trail and for some reason I have to leave my bag outside a shop, for example, then I am carrying all our electronics. So again, for the drone, extra batteries, I'm carrying this huge charging block. I know this is huge and not ideal, but I don't want to buy a bunch of new stuff. So for a lot of these things that you see here, they're not ideal or ultra light, but it is what we have and we're going to work with it. Then I have this little Flextail pump, which I'm super excited about. I just got it new. I have some charging cables, my headlamp. Then I'm carrying 3 power banks. This one is 20,000 and 2 10,000. And that is for me and my dad together. This might be complete overkill, but let's see. And I'm going to show you later, but my dad is actually carrying a GoPro, so you will see him film as well. And I'm carrying some extra batteries and a little SD card reader so I can put the footage on my phone directly. And then since I'm carrying my AirPods, I have this little adapter. Then I'm not going to unpack this, but this is essentially a bunch of first aid and a couple of hygiene products, loads of pills. I hiked in Luxembourg a couple months ago and I got some really bad stomach problems. So right now I'm carrying loads of medicine for that just in case. Hopefully I'm not going to need it. My earplugs because my dad snores, and I have some Leukotape, some ibuprofen, that sort of stuff. I have a little hairbrush. This is not an ultralight trip, so I can bring some luxury. Then I have a piece of Tyvek that I use as a ground sheet. I'm carrying this little pot with stove. So in there I can have my little stove, and I got this little keychain with like pepper and salt and paprikas, and I can fit a gas canister in here perfectly. Obviously I'm not gonna fly with this. I'm gonna arrive and just before, so, but this is just in there because it's always there. I'm carrying a couple steaks, and since we're going to be wild camping in Scotland and I expect the weather to not be great all the time, I'm carrying some extra guy lines as well in case there are strong winds. Then I am going to be carrying the Nemo Hornet Osmo one-person tent. I also have my sleeping pad, then that takes me to clothes. So first of all, I have this knee brace that I'm going to be carrying most of the time. And since the weather is going to turn and it's probably going to be not so nice some of the days, I'm also carrying my gloves. Otherwise, I would have probably left them at home. I have this little pillow, and I'm going to be bringing a towel. This is a little luxury, but I think for this trip it's going to be perfect, because we'll be passing through campsites as well. So if I feel like taking a shower, that will be great. A buff, an absolute essential item in my opinion. I have some extra underwear. Then I am carrying probably 2 pairs of Injinji socks, and then I'm going to be wearing 1 pair. And my hope is this is going to be enough, but this might be a complete mistake, and maybe I should be carrying more pairs of socks, because if it's going to be wet, I don't know if this is ever going to dry, but we'll figure that out soon enough. Normally I would wear Darn Toughs over them, but I recently switched to a new pair of shoes, and I haven't figured out the sock situation yet because the shoes are very narrow. So for now I'm hiking with just the Injinjis. Then I have my puffy jacket and a fleece. I will probably be wearing this fleece a lot, so I don't think it's going to be in the bag a lot. I also don't really have dedicated sleep clothes, but I just wear this fleece day and night basically. I do have this extra pair of merino wool leggings that I guess I'm going to be sleeping in this time around, and maybe just wearing whenever I'm not hiking. And then when I am hiking, I'm going to be wearing just regular leggings. Normally, if the weather would be nice, I would be wearing shorts, but given the weather forecast, I think this is going to be better. And the added benefit is that there are apparently loads of ticks in Scotland. So having some more coverage on my legs will probably be a good idea. The last thing I have in here is my sleeping bag, and I am going to be toasty. So I'm super excited to be back in my sleeping bag. That sounds weird, but I cannot wait. This one is so comfy, and I've really missed sleeping outside. So this is going to be great. I always put all my stuff in just a regular trash bag inside, especially now that it's going to rain so much. And then finally, I have this thin Gossamer gear pad that I can sit on at camp, and it's just added protection for my sleeping pad. So just in case there are sharp objects on the ground, I'm sure that it's not going to get punctured. So that is all my stuff. Let me move this out of the way and show you what my dad is bringing. I think my dog will be very sad to learn that he's not joining us on this trip. He has been going on every walk with us to prepare for this trip. So we're gonna have to sneak out the front door whenever we're leaving. Okay, so This is everything my dad is bringing on our trip. We've had to improvise. This is the first time my dad is ever doing something like this, and it might be the last. Let's see how this trip goes. So we didn't want to buy a lot of new stuff. He is using a bunch of my things, so it's not ideal. For example, this backpack is probably a little bit too small for him, but it works. Let's go around the outside. My dad is carrying this little pouch on his shoulder strap, so he's carrying the GoPro with this tiny little tripod. So I'm super excited to see what he'll be filming, and he can put his phone and maybe a couple snacks in this as well. My dad is going to be carrying my Big Agnes Tiger Wall 2-person tent. So these are the tent poles for that. There will probably be another bottle of water in here. And then on the other side, we tried to do the shoulder strap thing for my dad as well, but he couldn't really reach it, or it was kind of in the way. So we got this tube that connects to the bottle, which is super convenient, and it works really, really well. I think this is a great idea if you're doing a shorter multi-day trip. He got these kind of cheaper trekking poles from Decathlon, and they seem to be working fine. And then obviously on the outside, we also have this pad that is going to be going under his sleeping pad. Again, for extra protection, he can sit on it at camp, and I definitely don't think this is a necessity, but it's great to have anyways. In the top pocket, he has his gloves, rain jacket, rain pants, rain cover for the backpack, and then there's this separate compartment where he has this little Sea to Summit cup for coffees in the morning and maybe anything else that we'll be eating at camp. Let's see. He's carrying a headlamp and a little spork that I also got from Decathlon, just very cheap and simple. And yes, so my dad also carries an air tag. On the inside of the backpack, he obviously has the tent. Again, this is the Big Agnes Tiger Wall 2-person tent. I carried this with me on the PCT and all my previous hikes. I really, really love it, and I'm a little bit jealous that he's gonna have so much space, but it's all right. I'll figure it out. Then he has the Thru-Hike ground sheet, stakes, and we also each carry an extra splint, again, because of the weather and maybe the really intense wind. I just want to make sure that we have all the repair in case we need it. This is the food bag right now. This is basically just bars and a little bit of candy. I think we're gonna be doing kind of a hybrid approach where we'll have like coffees and bars in the morning, and we have dehydrated meals in the evenings at camp, and we'll also buy stuff along the way. There are some shops and stuff, so I think we're gonna be fine. And then we're gonna do a bunch of pub food as well. Of course, we're gonna be in Scotland, so there's a lot of stuff to try that I'm really excited about. And yeah, just a little bit of luxury. I want this to be a fun experience for my dad, so we're not gonna rough it all the way. We're gonna do a little bit of a hybrid. Then in here, we have my dad's sleeping pad. This one is slightly larger. It's mine as well. This is the Thermarest Neo Air X Therm, so slightly warmer, and this is a regular size. I carry a small one. In terms of clothes, hello. In terms of clothes, my dad has this puffy jacket, a towel as well, slightly bigger. Again, I would have bought a smaller one, but this is what we have, so that's what he'll be carrying. My dad is bringing a lot of underwear. He's going to be carrying some sleep clothes as well, a bunch of these handkerchiefs. Very old school, but he's used to it, so that's what he's carrying. Then he has this pillow. This is a cheap one as well. And then for sleeping bag, my dad has this, I can barely get it out of here. He has this Sea to Summit Boab sleeping bag. It's kind of gigantic, but it was the best thing I could find in terms of like price, quality. So this is extra wide. It is rated -1 degree Celsius or 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think that's gonna be fine. Again, my dad also has this trash bag in there. So in the side pockets, my dad also has his head net. He's carrying the lighter as well. And that's it. That's everything. Now, a few items that we won't be carrying, and I'm not sure if this is a mistake, but we'll find out soon enough. Now, this time around, I'm not gonna be hiking in a sun hoodie because probably there's not gonna be a lot of sun. I'm gonna be wearing this merino wool layer. And as I showed earlier, I compare that with this fleece. I know that's not very conventional, but it works for me. So that's what I'm gonna go with. And while we're at it, my dad is gonna be wearing this merino wool shirt, also a knee brace because of dodgy knees. He's gonna do the layering technique of the Injinji toe liners with some other socks. He has a fleece and long hiking pants as well. Another thing that I won't be carrying, and that is sunglasses. Normally, I always hike with sunglasses, but again, I don't think it's gonna be very sunny, so the hat will have to do. I think it's gonna be fine. And the final thing that I'm not carrying, which normally I would, is my Garmin InReach Mini. That is a satellite device just in case anything goes wrong. And since the West Highland Way is so popular and we'll be walking through towns basically every day, maybe multiple times a day, I don't think a satellite device is absolutely necessary. So we're gonna be doing without, and I think it's gonna be fine, but we'll figure that out soon enough. We're starting the West Highland Way in just a few days, so if you're curious to see how this all plays out, what works, what doesn't, if we made any terrible mistakes, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one on the West Highland Way.